Hello, my name's Hannibal. I'm Head of Operations at IG, and today we've got 3 quick tips on how to do better storytelling in PowerPoint. So the first tip is about the overall structure of your presentation, which is to try, if possible, to have a very clear beginning, middle and end. The beginning of your presentation can set up what the presentation is going to be about and make sure that the audience are aware of what the story you're trying to tell is. That means that as you progress through the presentation, it kind of makes it much easier for them to follow if they've already been given a bit of a pointer on where you're going to end up. Similarly, having a conclusion at the end of the presentation where you recap what's been said helps to make sure that the story lands and that everybody has understood what the thrust of what you're trying to say is. Sometimes it can feel a bit like repetition, saying at the introduction, here is what the presentation is going to be about, then give what the presentation is going to be about, and then at the end say, here's what the presentation was just about. But actually that kind of reinforcement and rule of 3 can really help the story stick in people's minds. Second tip is about the headlines or slide titles in your presentation. It can be helpful for you when structuring your story, and particularly for your audience when you're giving the presentation, if you think about the headlines as kind of telling the story in and of themselves. You should be able to take just the title of your slides on your presentation and string them together and be able to really clearly read through and understand exactly what you're trying to say. The headline sort of sets the context for the whole of the rest of the slide and is the bit that people will read first and read most. So if you can, before even completing your presentation, sit down and write the skeleton of what the slide title is going to be, you can have a really clear idea of the journey that you're taking the audience on and the story that you're trying to tell them. The third point is about the structure of slides themselves. So just as we're telling a story across the whole of the presentation, we're also telling a story on a slide-by-slide basis. In a similar way to having a beginning, middle and end structure to your presentation, you can have a beginning, middle and end to your slide. The headline, the header of the slide, sets up the question or articulates the point that the slide is trying to make. The body of the slide is some evidence or expansion upon that, and then sometimes it can be really handy to have a sort of kicker at the bottom, another line at the bottom of the slide to give the sort of the so what or the conclusion. Keeping a clear structure like this to your presentation and to your slides can help make your presentations much more engaging and easy to follow for your audience, whether they're reading it or whether you're actually presenting it to them in person. If you'd like help making your presentation look smarter and more professional, get in touch. Either reach out to me on LinkedIn or email me.